Good morning. We are beginning Matthew 6. Listen to verse 1. Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you'll have no reward from your Father in heaven. Now, if you've been paying attention and you are a student of the Bible, you might hear that and go, wait a minute. Same sermon. Jesus here says, hey, beware, don't practice your righteousness so that other people see you, right? And look and draw attention to you so that you get their affirmation and their approval, because then you'll be forfeiting your reward in heaven. But you might object and might say, but we read earlier in chapter 5, verse 16, this. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. So which is it? Do I practice my righteousness before others so that they can see, or do I not practice my righteousness before others because then I'm seeking their approval? And the answer is yes. Let's just make a couple of points this morning so that there's no lack of clarity here, and so that you understand there's not a conflict. The Sermon on the Mount is about a very grown-up Christianity. It's a vision of a kind of life of kingdom virtue, kingdom ethics lived out in the various situations of your life. It's not focused on checking boxes and living by rules. It's actually the antithesis of that. The Pharisees and the religious leaders were focused on that, and Jesus is trying to press beneath in the substrata, subtexture of our spiritual lives to get to what's going on in the basement, down deep, so that it gets to the why we do the things we do and the kind of people we are. So one of the things you notice right out of the gates from these two things being stated in the same sermon is that different situations call for different actions. Different situations call for different actions. So first, I just want you to know the Sermon on the Mount is not a new set of rules. It's a new way of living and a new way of being in God's kingdom. Secondly, we have to be sensitive to each situation. 5:16, what's it calling us away from? It's calling us away from cowardice, steering us away from cowardice so that we'll live boldly in front of people and shine our light. 6:1 here, what's it calling us away from? It's calling us away from the fear of approval, in a sense, but all and living for the approval of men, but it's calling us away from vanity, where we would look and people would go, they're great. And we go, yeah, we're great because we do these things. It's calling us away from vanity and not doing things for the wrong reason. So it's a call to do the right things in the right way for the right reasons that accord with holiness. And that's because the third piece is there's an intent here to bring glory to God in what we do. We're not to cultivate and sort of bring glory to ourselves. We're to let our light shine because it brings glory to God in 5:16. And we're to not say, look at me, look at me, look at me, because it robs glory from God in chapter 6, verse 1. So we'll talk a little more about verse 1, but I just wanted to make sure we were clear that there's not this kind of conflict or some type of thing that is happening that is confusing and nodding, and Jesus is talking out both sides of his mouth. He's not. He's simply saying, listen, different situations call for different ways of being, and we need to steer away from, look at me, look at me, look at me, and we need to steer away from, I don't want to let my light shine. I don't want to let my light shine. Instead, you let your light shine to the glory of God, not the glory of self. May the Lord bless you today.